shifting, reducing the Toyota challenge to just Hannes Grobler.
Well, that's what we aim at the beginning of the year, is to win all 8 events, and I think today is going to be the hardest one, the hardest win, but we'll give it a good go.
Now, Jan Habig didn't make it. He blew his engine in Natal and didn't come to the Cape. Is that a bit of a disappointment for you?
It is, actually, because he's one of the top runners, and it's nice to have Jannie around, and it's a Volkswagen. That's what we all need for the sport.
Quentin McCulloch, the managing director of Electrolyte, the company that manufacture NGK spark plugs, officially starts the rally and brings the Toyota crew under starter's orders. The setting for stage 1, a short spectator stage on the grounds around the Belleville Stadium outside Cape Town, allows for excellent viewing from the high embankments that surround the sports complex. On the Tar access road, Serge makes an unusual mistake, sliding the Conquest into the embankment. Fortunately, both crew and car emerge unscathed, but valuable seconds are lost. The crew go on to record a time of 1 minute 43 seconds over the 1.8 kilometer section. Hannes Grobler powers the Bankfin Sentra through the stage 2 seconds faster than the Toyota, thereby taking an early lead. Filling the gap left by Jan Habig's absent Golf and leading the second phase of Class A cars are Enzo Kuhn and Johan Silung in the Hyundai Accent four-wheel drive. Despite being underpowered and without a high-tech gearbox, the Hyundai has become a regular sight in the post-race park firm, scoring points from reliability rather than speed. Next into the stage is the local crew of Brady Dabner and Guy Hodgson in the Class A Bankfin Toyota. They take 1 second from the Hyundai and the Nissan of Nuno Cunha, but are 6 seconds slower than the leader, Hannes Grobler. Chart van der Walt and Cindy Harding lead the two-wheel drive brigade in their Class B Golf, now more confident with the car since their 5th place overall on the mountain trial. Last seen in the Sassel Rally, Peter Altersky and Alan Bissett in the Mr. Toyota 4x4 Conquest. From Belleville, it's to the more central venue of the Wingfield Naval Base in Goodwood for stage 2. Join Hannes and Pierre in the Nissan as they start this 14.6 kilometer long chase over the disused runways that crisscross this old Air Force base. Hannes and Pierre attack the stage, keen to build on the slender lead they earned on stage 1. The stage distance is made up of laps over the section, and the cars are fed into the stage in their sequence, leaving just seconds between them. Hannes is caught trying too hard and slides the Sentra on a patch of loose gravel, stalling the Sentra in the overgrowth. Precious seconds are lost as the car is removed from the bushes and Brady Dabner is able to pass the stricken Nissan. Hannes is slowed still further by the dust kicked up by the Toyota ahead of them. Serge takes full advantage of being the leading car and has a clean run through the stage while causing a visibility problem for the Hyundai crew behind them. Hannes is able to pass Dabner and Hodgson when the Toyota slides wide. The damage has, however, been done, and Hannes and Pierre finish the stage 5 seconds off Damso's winning time of 8 minutes and 18 seconds. Dabner has more problems on his hands when Chart van der Walt is fed into the stage ahead of the Toyota as they start their last lap. Keen to escape the Volkswagen's dust, Brady attempts a passing maneuver on the Golf. The Toyota emerges from the bushes camouflaged for just a moment. Damage to the car is mainly cosmetic, although a broken brake caliper sees the car finishing the stage without any brakes. Altersky and Bissett enter the stage behind the De Cunha Westenhagen Nissan. but wisely back off from the Nissan's dust. Further down the field, the various classes fight it out. Paolo Piazza Musso is the current Class B championship leader in his Uno Turbo. Terry Brand and Jeff Tyra suffer gearbox problems early on in the stage, crippling the crew's chances in their Class C Golf. Once out of the stage, the gearbox is replaced, but the same problem one stage later eventually time bars Terry and Jeff out of the event. Very much still a part of the NGK Rally is Etienne Lawrence with Robert Paisley, who have achieved extremely good results over the season, often finishing up amongst the Class A survivors. This Class C crew are currently second in the championship, with a 9-point lead over Brady Dabner and Guy Hodgson. Tony Ball and Marty Olivier in their third outing with the newly developed Formula 2-based Class B car. Tienus Viljoen and Andre Vermeulen lead a keen pack of Class D cars both on this rally and on the championship log. After a short 10-kilometre stage near Durbanville, the rally finishes day one at the Killarney racetrack, where once again the cars are pitted one against the other as they are fed into the stage. After losing time on stage 2, Hannes was able to fight back on stage 3 and equal Serge's time of 5 minutes and 47 seconds. Going into stage 4, Serge and Vito hold a 3-second lead over the Nissan. Hannes pulls out all the stops. Serge loses time on the gravel section when caught in the dust behind Enzo Kuhn. The result is a 4-second deficit to Hannes as the cars break for the night. Third overall, despite all their problems, are Brady Dabner and Guy Hodgson, a full minute behind the two leading cars. 34 seconds behind Dabner, Nuno de Cunha in the 4th place overall, but just 14 seconds ahead of Enzo Kuhn. There are 17 retirements after the 4 stages, as Hannes leads the field into the 2nd day.
Now your strategy, 4 seconds isn't a lot with the likes of Serge around, but the rally really does begin now, doesn't it?
That's right, yeah. And I think it's going to be a long day. We're going to put the pressure, or Serge is going to try and put the pressure on us, and we're going to try and handle the pressure and hope we can stay in front.
On Killarney, unfortunately, we got caught behind Enzo on the dust and we lost a bit of time there. But I always knew it's going to be close, and I think that's the most important. If you get hold up a little bit, then you're going to just lose a bit of time. But today, I'm sure it'll be different.
Under grey skies and in much cooler conditions, Hannes starts stage 5. 2 minutes later, the Works Toyota crew power the Conquest into the stage, intent on winning back the 4 seconds that separate them on the scoreboard. Unfortunately for the spectators, the NGK Sparkplug Rally has become just a 2-team race.
T left and T right through gate. And T right through gate. Now there's the gate. Jump. 50 meters. Here's the jump. 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 90 right. Jump. Caution. Jump down. Caution.
Once into the countryside, the crews soon find themselves in the rough stuff, and the conditions start testing the cars. Serge takes the lead back from Hannes on the stage, beating the Nissan crew by 17 seconds over the 15 kilometers.
50 over railway line. Fork side right.
Dabner and Hodgson are still well off the pace of the 2 leading cars, but head up the remaining Class A competition. The Hyundai starts the stage behind the Nissan of Nuno de Cunha, with just 4 seconds separating the 2 cars on the scoreboard. Chant van der Walt and Cindy Harding do well on stage 5, but are later sidelined in stage 6 with a burst seal in the master cylinder of the Golf's clutch. Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley once again emerge as the fastest of the two-wheel drive cars. Their steady pace over the early stages keeping them ahead of the competition. Paolo Piazzamusso and Nick Haddon take the Class B lead with the retirement of Chart van der Waals Golf. The pace of the rally slows as retirements start to take their toll, and the slower cars move up to take their place on the road. Also moving up the scoreboard are Keith Coleman and Ivo Koch, now in the top 10 after starting in 16th place. Barry Grobler and Francois Pretorius had taken an early lead in Class D, and when Tiernes Viljoen retired his Uno in Stage 6, Barry and Francois were left almost unchallenged in the class. Surgeon Vito had lost 12 seconds to Hannes and Pierre in Stage 6 due to a misfire with the Conquest after the river crossing. Fellow Cape Townians Dabner and Hodgson parked their Conquest for good after hitting a gatepost in the farmyard, destroying the right-hand side of the car. This promoted De Cunha and Kuhn. Tony Ball and Marty Olivier, who after problems on day 1 were fighting their way up the scoreboard from 29th place. The Golf slowed in Stage 6 with gearbox problems and eventually retired at the Spectator point. With Chart van der Waals and Cindy Harding out of contention, Paolo Piazzamusso was looking good for a Class B win. The Hyundai crew was still losing seconds per stage to Nuno de Cunha, but it moved up to 4th position thanks to Dabner's demise. In essence, the NGK Sparkplug Rally had become a two-car event, and all eyes were on Hannes and Serge as they won and lost seconds to each other on the stages. Hannes gave back 13 seconds to Serge on Stage 7 and took back just 1 second from the Toyota on Stage 8. Both crews were working hard, and their pace had pushed them a full 7 minutes ahead of the third-placed car. The Nissan and Toyota were taking a pounding.
10 seconds, stand by.
With the rally moving towards the Moreesburg regroup, the spectators had forgotten about the back markers and were rushing from one spectator point to the next to cheer on the leading crews.
Fork right, straight on through gate. 100 gate, fork right.
The road conditions through the wheat fields are generally good, but irrigation humps become launching pads when traveling at these speeds, and the navigator's instructions become vital as the pace increases.
Fast right, maybe. Gate fast right, maybe. 200 fast left, maybe through drift. 100 fast left, maybe through drift. To 5 contours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 200 line drive straight.
The local boys enjoy the support they are shown by the spectators. And their supporters enjoy seeing the Cape Townian crew in full flight. Of the 6 stages run since dawn, both Hannes and Serge have each won 3. The second Nissan Sentra starts losing power in Stage 9 and retires on Stage 10 with a blown head gasket. Enzo Kuhn and Johan Seeling reel in the stricken Nissan on their way to 3rd place before the midday regroup. Lawrence and Paisley also move up a place, but now have fellow Natalians Trevor Graham and Peter Chadwick challenging for the Class C honours. Sandwiched between the Class C battle on the road is the Uno of Piazzamusso and Haddon. Problems in Stage 9 saw the Uno lose 30 seconds to the 2 Class C cars and cost Paolo and Nick a place on the scoreboard. Graham and Chadwick move up to 5th place overall, but remain 2 minutes behind Lawrence and Paisley, unable to penetrate the gap. The Class B leaders are keeping good company among the Class B and C cars, with little competition from the remaining Class D crews. As the cars reach Moreesburg, the rain begins to fall. At the regroup, Serge leads Hannes by 17 seconds, a full 8 minutes ahead of Enzo Kuhn and Johan Seeling, who are well ahead of the Class C cars. Coleman and Koch have moved up to 7th overall, while Franken and Bosman make up the top 10. With the rain comes the important decision of which compound tyres to fit. The wrong choice could lose either one of the leading crew up to 30 seconds on a stage. The cars restart on stage 11 in the order in which they started the day. Although second on the scoreboard, Hannes leads Serge on the road. There's little advantage for the Nissan crew, as the blinding dust of Friday had now turned to mud. Serge and Vito get right down to business, winning the 12-kilometre stage in a time of 7 minutes and 16 seconds, 6 seconds faster than Hannes and Pierre. Hannes responds on stage 12, which is equal in length, beating Serge and Vito by 4 seconds, which is not enough to stop the Toyota team from creeping ahead. Neither crew can afford a mistake, and just a puncture on either one of the cars could change or end this two-car battle.
90 right. 90 right through gate and 90 right. Left. 400 straight on.
On the Malmesbury Street stage, the Nissan overshoots a tricky reverse bend, and the mistake costs Hannes and Pierre the rally.
3.
The Conquest waits in the starting blocks.
90 left. 140.
As the Toyota takes to the streets of Malmesbury, the crowd responds to the spectacle. Serge and the Conquest become one, and together are unbeatable over the 1.3-kilometre sprint.
Yes, drops. Casino spin. 90 left. Reverse right. 90 left.
Knowingly, the crowd cheers them on, and Serge adds another 10 seconds to the gap that separates themselves from the Nissan.
70, 90 left again. 60, 90 left on the curve, 90 right.
Way off the leading car's pace, Enzo and Johan can but watch the proceedings from their safe third place. Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley remain in control of Class C, and only mechanical failure could rob them of their 4th place overall. The Malmesbury crowd warm to the little Uno as it takes to the streets of their town. Keith Coleman and Uwe Koch soldier on, keeping their Class C Golf on the pace and out of trouble. Two stages later, and Serge and Hannes are still hard at it. On stage 14 after Malmesbury, Hannes scraped 13 seconds back from Serge, who got back 4 seconds on stage 15. At Killarney on the final stage, Serge and Vito sewed it up, finishing the stage 2 seconds ahead of Hannes and winning the event by just 22 seconds.
Serge 7 out of 8, but this time not that easy.
No, I must say today I had to work for my first place, and it was fantastic, and I think the crowd enjoyed it, kept them really busy, and they really followed the two of us all the way, and I think that's what we need.
Now, Hannes obviously would have loved to have won it, but didn't. But definitely good competition going into the final round next month.
Yes, I'm sure. I mean, every event, the cars seem to be getting quicker and quicker, and looks like we'll have to do some homework again. You know, just can try and keep ahead, or else if they keep them going with that car next year, I think we've got trouble.
There is no change to the scoreboard after the regroup, but the Toyota team's victory gives them 7 wins out of 8 events for the season. Can they make it a clean sweep on the total international? We'll have to wait a month to see.